I'm going to show you how to turn the video on the left into the video on the right using Synaptic. Synaptic is an AI video transformation software that allows you to take an input video and change its look and feel, or change how the character looks, or change the background. Once you log in, this is what you'll see. Right now we don't have any videos or sequences, so let's upload one. This might be something you filmed yourself on camera, maybe using your phone, or you could use stock footage, or it could even be AI generated. Whatever the source, you have to supply the input video yourself. Once the video is uploaded, next click Get Frames. This will cut the video up into a sequence of still images or frames, which we call a sequence. Here we have the sequence editor UI. So first you have this preview image, and below that is a timeline that you can use to scrub through the sequence. Here you have the option to designate which frames are keyframes. You can tell what is a keyframe because it will have a dot or pip in the timeline. Non-keyframes don't have this dot. The AI is only going to process keyframes, so frames that aren't keyframes will be ignored. Eventually we'll let you pick exactly which frames you want as your keyframes, but for now these are the preset options: every frame, every other frame, or every fourth frame. The advantage is that by selecting fewer keyframes, your video will process faster and possibly be more coherent. Down here we have the inference settings. Synaptic is using Stable Diffusion behind the scene, so if you've been playing with that for image generation, everything works the same here and you can just copy your favorite settings. A lot is involved in getting a good output, so if you're not sure how to proceed, look around online for examples or join our Discord channel. First, you can choose a base model. We'll add more models over time, and you can feel free to request the model you want in Discord. Next, you have the prompt and negative prompt. Here I'm using a LoRa to make the output more consistent and controllable. I'm also using the easy negative embedding or textual inversion to improve quality. Using a LoRa is highly recommended, and again we'll be adding more models, both LoRa's and embeddings, over time, and we are taking requests. One more thing to note is that, as usual, you can increase or decrease the amount of attention the model pays to certain keywords using brackets and parentheses notation. Next, we have the control net settings. So here I'm going to pick a preprocessor and the right model corresponding to that processor. And then I'm going to jack up the control net weight to make sure we're going to follow the pose in the input image. If you know which seed you want for your own experimentations with Stable Diffusion, you can use that. Otherwise, it's fine to just pick a random one. When you're happy with your settings, click on Generate Preview to generate a preview image, which is only going to process the current selected frame and not the whole sequence. This could take a while to process depending on how busy the server is, but eventually you get an output like this. And if you compare it with the original input, you can see that you got the same pose. But we lost a leg. Sometimes that can happen, and you can try to fix it by tweaking the prompt or some other settings, or simply changing the seed and see if you get lucky. So I'm just going to reroll here and see if I get a better output. Looks like I got 2 legs this time, so I'm going to go ahead and process the whole sequence now. This could take a while. Generally it takes 6 to 10 seconds per image, potentially more time if the backend needs to switch base models or if there are a lot of other users online. This video has 20 keyframes because we're doing every 4, and it took about 5 minutes to process this. Okay, so once processing finishes, the app will create a new sequence with all the processed frames. You can scrub through this sequence in the same way and continue to apply other changes to it. We are going to implement masking, segmentation, interpolation, and composition over the next few days. So what that means is, for example, you can cut out the character and swap out the background, or use interpolation to fill in the frames between the keyframes. For now, let's say we're done editing, so we want to export the new sequence as a video. So we'll come to this MISC tab to do that. Now, the original video was around 30 FPS, and we only took 1/4 of the frames, so we need to drop the FPS by a factor of 4 to get the same speed. Once this processing finishes, the app will make a new video. If I click into that video, then I can download it. Okay, so you can see here there's a bit of flicker. Removing the background and interpolation will help make that smoother, as well as playing around with the inference settings. That's it.